Good afternoon, everybody out there in our paint social evening this evening. Tonight in your kits, you're going to receive 3 paintbrushes, 2 poster size papers, red, blue, yellow, black, and white paint, which is used to actually make every color out there. A garbage bag that you can use to put down on top of your poster board so you don't get paint on anything. A cup for water to rinse your brushes off and to use your water to help spread your paint. Butter knife for mixing your paints. Plates for mixing your paints. And then there's some things that you should remember. You should not touch your water to your paper. Always your paintbrush to the paint. Your paintbrush to the water, then to the paint, or your water to the paint to kind of mix the paint and make it more spreadable. The paint is really hard to get off anything. So please make sure you're wearing clothes that you know that you won't be bothered if it does get paint on it. It can come off with soap and water, but I think on surfaces, once it dries, it doesn't come off. It's acrylic paint. You're working with colors like blue, yellow, and red, and you can use those colors to make any color in. I also included a color wheel in the package just so you know, like blue and red make purple, red and yellow make orange, and blue and yellow make green. And then you can go from there to make them lighter or darker with the white and the black. That's totally up to you. So just for a little side note, this is all about creative expression. So for you to creatively express yourself. So I did write a story about a person going on a bike ride in Atikameksheng with my partner. We wrote it together. So you don't have to paint anything in related to the story. You can paint whatever you feel inspired for and whatever inspires you. I just would really love to see the social part of this is you putting it out there for other people to be inspired to paint or to make something creatively. So you have to be social, and it would be really nice to see some of the work that happens from this. So for the steps that you're gonna follow, I'm gonna ask you to get your area ready. You're gonna put down your garbage bag and then your poster board. And I actually put a couple of extra poster boards in there because I didn't know if you'd want to make other paintings or paint other things. You have lots of paint. There wasn't that much blue in the youth center, but I did use what we had. So bear with me for that. I hope that you have enough blue to make whatever you think you're gonna make. So get your area ready, like with your paints, your plate, with your plate, your paints on the plate of the colors you think you're gonna use, your cup with water in it, your paintbrushes kind of on the side, and then your board on top. And then it says, other than that, follow the link to this video. You can follow the link to this video, or you can actually just read the story from the paper if you want. And then it says get creative and paint something from the story or something that makes you feel inspired. Like I said, it's all about what you want to paint, not about what I want you to paint. It's all about your creativity. And then it just says ask your parents to help you share your work online, or you share your work online and then inspire other people to be creative, because it's hard to do that these days. Okay, so on that note, I'm just gonna go ahead and read the story. Yellow Boots, a collaborative effort by Adam Jassar and Alyssa Susi. As I creeped out of the corner of my eye, I could see that it must have already been late morning. Like other Saturdays in Atikameksheng, I rolled over and out of my deep red bedding. My new sheets were still crisp, and the color reminded me of cherries that had been sitting outside too long. My room was mostly dark, other than the orange hue that shimmered in through the window curtain split and covering my entire room. I could hear a distant chatter of the radio in the kitchen downstairs. I knew my mom had cooked something yummy. The good smell of breakfast had sneaked up the stairs, filling the whole upper floor. I could see in the room across from mine, my little brothers and sisters had already tornadoed out of their rooms, leaving their bed sheets crumpled, clothes, toys, and books on the floor. I got dressed in my favorite clothes, raced downstairs, tasting the breakfast in my mouth that I was about to eat. To my amazement, the kitchen was clean. There was no breakfast, only a small metallic radio with a broken antenna that sat on the counter playing on low. Next to it, a yellow sticky note. Written on it said, "Having a picnic at the beach. You slept in. Meet us there." The beach was a 20-minute bike ride or a 45-minute walk. I decided to put on my favorite yellow rubber boots. They have a bright, brand new yellow, and we bought them the same time we purchased my new sheets. I stepped outside the front door into a bright, sunny late morning and walked over to our shed. Inside was my evergreen bike. My bike was nothing fancy and had belonged to my dad. It was sleek and the color of a Christmas tree. The late sunny spring morning was emerging into summer, so the heat of the day was just getting started. I headed down the bush road, enjoying the sound of the crunching rocks under my bike. Even with the breeze on my side, my pedaling became a chore as I headed down the winding trails. I put my head back and I sighed from exhaustion, losing my breath from witnessing beautiful bouncing clouds were sheeting the crystal blue skies. I heard a voice call out to me, "Your back tire is flat." My eyes widened in awe. A young girl with an indigo romper was walking down the path behind me. "Yeah, well, you don't have an umbrella." Then it started to drizzle. We gathered underneath the closest cedar tree. We both looked wet and cold. Suddenly, my family whipped around the bend in our violet-purple minivan. The back right tire had a donut and the front windshield was cracked. I could see my mom pointing at me past the orange and yellow dimmed headlights. The vehicle clinked and clunked as it splashed through the puddles forming in the potholes as it now was pouring rain. They squeaked to a stop, and we could hear my siblings arguing in the back seat over who got to use the last dry towel. "You need a lift?" my dad called out to us. As a big grin sat on my face, the girl nodded her head, and we got in the van and headed back to the res. That's it. That's the end of my story. So if you feel like there was more than that of the story, you can paint it. If you feel like maybe there was a part of that story that really stood out to you, you can paint it. If you feel like your painting has nothing to do with that story, that's okay too. Paint it. It'd be really nice to see what people are painting, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's like a little story for you that I just wrote in the past week. So I did take time to do it. It's nice to see that people signed up for this program, and I hope to maybe try this again someday. Bamapi, I hope you guys have a good time. Bye.